Humble pranams, the lotus feet of our beloved Bhagavan. Thank you, Swami, for always giving us opportunities to be grateful, giving us challenges so we may realize our true self, always showing us that no matter where you go, what you do, His presence will always be within us, above us, below us, in front of us, at the back of us. And with that heartfelt gratitude, I start the satsang today. Welcome everyone. It's a delight to have all of you all here today. And let's just get down to business. So today's Namavali is Om Śrī Sāi Bhāradvāja Rishi Gotrāya Namaḥ. Okay, so let's go into the passage. Sister Sharmini, are you here? Anyone from group 2?
Yes, Sairam brother, I'm here.
Okay, Sairam sister, can you help us read the passage?
Yeah. For 8 days before Guru Purnima in 1963, Bhagavan Śrī Sāi Baba compassionately took on himself the paralytic stroke and heart attacks of a devotee. Although his left side was completely paralyzed, Baba still insisted on giving his Guru Purnima discourse. Before the discourse, Baba asked for water. He dipped his right hand into the cup, sprinkling water on his paralyzed left arm and leg. Then, to the joy of all present, Baba rubbed his left leg with both hands, stood up completely healed, and began his Guru Purnima discourse. During his discourse, Bhagwan Baba revealed that the triple Sai avatar of Shirdi Sai, Satya Sai, and Prema Sai were all born as the result of a boon granted to the sage Bharadvāja. Baba said that sage Bharadvāja went to Kailasa to ask Shiva and Shakti to attend a yoga, Vedic ritual sacrifice he was performing. After waiting in the extreme cold for 8 days, while seemingly being ignored by Shakti, Bharadvaja suffered a stroke that paralyzed his left side. Shiva cured him by sprinkling water on his left side. Shiva and Shakti then agreed to bless the sage's yoga with their presence. Shiva also told Bharadvaja they would take human form and be born in the Bharadvāja lineage, Gotra, thrice. Shiva alone as Shirdi Sai Baba, Shiva and Shakti together at Puttaparthi as Śrī Sāi Baba, and Shakti alone as Prema Sai later. Śrī Sāi Baba, July, okay, yeah, never mind. July 6, 1963. Baba explained that as atonement for Shakti ignoring Bharadvaja for 8 days at Kailasa, his left side, Shakti, had been paralyzed for 8 days and was then cured through the sprinkling of water by his right side, Shiva. This same Shiva and Shakti who blessed Bharadvaja and who incarnated as Sri Satya Sai Baba are also present in each of us. Being Sat is Shivam and awareness Chit is Parvati. So the combination is Ardhaneshwara, half Shiva and half Shakti. Every one of us is Ardhaneshwara. Sri Satya Sai Baba. Shiva is not to be sought on the peak of a distant range of mountains or in some other special place. You must have heard that sin and merit are inherent in the acts that men do. So too, Shiva is inherent in every thought, word, and deed, for he is the energy, the power, the intelligence that is behind each of them. All energy, power, and intelligence are in you. You need not search for them outside yourself. Yeah, Sri Satya Sai Baba, February 20th, 1974.
Okay, thank you, Sister Shamini. Let me just go to the questions and then we will come back to watch this video.
Bharadwaj.
So in self-reflection, we had two questions. The first, Baba said, Shiva is inherent in every thought, word, and deed. For he is the energy and the power is Shakti, the intelligence that is behind each of them. What does this mean in practical terms in your day-to-day life? And the second self-reflection is, how has Baba's teaching that you are the divine transformed your life? Okay, so the first question is basically a reflection of the statement Shiva and Shakti are both inherent in you. And in terms of practicality, how do you utilize this, or how do you tap into this presence or this energy? And the second question is about Baba's teaching that your divine transform your life. How has Baba's teaching, being in the Sai organization for many years and having attended bhajans and multiple study circles and conducted various programs, listened to so many talks online and physical, and so how have you transformed your life using Swami's teaching that you are actually a divine manifestation? Okay, so these are two very deep questions. So hopefully we'll have enough time for you to respond. But before that, let's get to know Sage Bhāradvāja first.
Bharadwaj, son of Brihaspati and Mamta, is one of the most esteemed sages as per Vedic literature. Maharishi Bharadwaj was a famous economist, scholar, and physician. He is amongst the Rishis who work very closely with Lord Shiva to maintain the balance on our planet. They have obtained a semi-immortal status due to the yogic powers and the power of their undisputed penance. Saptarishis do the job of guiding the human race. They have an exceeded lifespan. Bharadwaj is the father of the great warrior and beloved guru of Pandavas and Kauravas, Dronacharya. Due to this relation, Bharadwaj is also related to Ashwathama, who happens to be the son of Dronacharya. Sushila was the wife of Bharadwaj, and their children were Garga and Devavarshini. Many sources also mention Ilavida and Katyayani to be the children of Sage Bhāradvāja. He has been mentioned multiple times in Rig Veda. His contribution to the Indian literature provide a deep and important insight into the Indian society of ancient times. He, along with his 55 students, are considered to be the creator of the sixth book of Rig Veda. Many writings have been composed and named after this great sage. Dhanurveda, Bharadwaj Samhita, Bharadwaj Srauta Sutra, and Griha Sutra, along with various aspects in Ayurveda described in Charak Samhita, originated from the knowledge that Bharadwaj has brought into the world. Bharadwaj has a noteworthy contribution to the medical field as well. He explained the process of pregnancy and how a woman gets pregnant. He also explained a lot about Niti Shastra, which is practical and ethical conduct. Bharadwaj Shiksha is one of the oldest Sanskrit writings on phonetics. The story of Dronacharya is known to the world in two ways. The first one goes as follows. It is believed that Bharadwaj had a linkage with a beautiful Apsara, Gritachi, and together they had Dronacharya, who grew up to be a great warrior and teacher to various brave warriors. This incident is mentioned in Vishnu Puran. Another story tells the tale of how Dronacharya was born out of a pot containing Bharadwaj's seed. According to the great text of Mahabharata, we understand that Drona was trained by none other than Bharadwaj himself. He had two students, Agnivesh and Drupad. Drona learned to master the weapon from Agnivesh, whereas Drupad took the responsibility of being the king of Panchal kingdom. He has been very prominently mentioned in the text of Ramayana as well. Ram and Sita meet him in his ashram when they had just begun the journey on their exile. He had insisted that they stay with him through their 14 years of exile, but Lord Ram and Sita wanted to stay at Chitrakoot. Bharadwaj gladly gave them the directions. He was also mentioned in the epic when Bharat had come to pick his brothers Ram, Lakshman, and Sita for reuniting his family and taking them back to Ayodhya. According to some experts, it is said that Bharadwaj, seen in the Ramayana text, is different from the one that we consider as the Saptarishi. The story of the birth of Bharadwaj is no less interesting than his life story. Some Puranas also suggest that he was found by King Bharat on the banks of river Ganga. He had a liking and inclination towards the Vedas and meditated on Lord Shiva, Parvati, and Indra for obtaining that Vedic knowledge. To pinpoint the story of his birth might be confusing for the readers, but they should look at the clarity that he has brought into the world with his profound knowledge and efforts to educate human beings.
Okay. So in this video, we know that Sage Bhāradvāja is actually the first of the Saptarishis, and he has actually been in connection with a deep connection with Lord Shiva. And because of this deep connection, he had developed many occult powers and elongated lifespan on the planet, and he has been helping humanity till today. And that's why you notice that if you go to temples which usually worship Lord Shiva, you will always see the Saptarishis there, as the Saptarishis can be said to be the manifestation of Lord Shiva himself in the mortal form. And so similarly, Swami has also revealed that he too is actually the manifestation of not only Shiva, but Shiva and Shakti, Shiva and Parvati, as Puttaparthi Sai Baba. And when Prema Sai comes, that will be a pure manifestation of the Divine Mother herself. So having said that, let's move on to the question. If anyone has anything to add about Sage Bhāradvāja, any experience that you've had before, or any other stories that you've heard of him? Okay. So now let's move into reflection. Swami says that Shiva is inherent in every thought, word, and deed, for he is the energy, the power, the intelligence that is behind each of them. What does this mean in practical terms in your day-to-day? And so let's ponder upon question 1 first. Let's open question 1 to the group. Anyone has any thoughts on what does this mean? When Swami says that Shiva and Shakti are both inherent in you. Anyone? There's no right and wrong. You can just unmute and share your thoughts on this.
Sairam Sadhika. Has it got any connection with the fact that that the human our right side is Shiva and the left side is Shakti, Ardhanarishwara, is there any connection?
Sister Gita, you are asking or are you stating?
I'm asking. It's a question actually.
What is the answer to this question? Thank you, Cecilia.
Does that have any connection with this? You know,
So,
with this number one question number one.
okay. So anyone has any answer to this question? Let's hear from the group first, and then maybe. What do you think? Do you think your body is half Shiva and half Shakti?
The outside of his foot, I think it's Cancelo. Has to be Cancelo.
Sairam, brother.
Yes.
From my experience in life, especially going into temples, what we understand is if you go to the temple, the left side of the main altar, they reserve it for ladies. The right side is for men. And then in the temples, when you're tying any string of, say, to enhance your spirituality, or if you're tying a string in order to self-discipline yourself, say during a period of fasting, so that you're constantly reminded that you are fasting and you will not do anything wrong, but you will always be with the God you are praying to. So they tie the string in the wrist of one of your hands. For the males, they tie it on the right side, to the females on the left side. So what we understand from this is that the left side of your body is the female aspect and the right side is the male aspect. Now, if you want to have an anatomy of this, it is very difficult to explain other than the way you explained earlier, the Shiva Shakti aspect in each person. So what is important is both are interrelated. Shiva is the manliness in the person, Rajasic qualities, and the Rajasic qualities can get dispersed into various ways according to the thought, action which comes from you. And there is a Shakti aspect which gives the energy for the thoughts to expand and action to take place. So we are now questioning, why can't both be in one? Why should you identify it separately? Why should you identify it separately? Well, the explanation is that both are in one, both are in the body. And what we understand is the left side is the female, right side is the male. And there is a cinema show which I watched very much when I was very, very young, where there was a kind of a competition between Shiva and Shakti. Lord Shiva began to claim that he is the most powerful person in the world. And Shakti, that is, Parvati Amma said, you are nothing without Shakti in you. I'm the one who gives you the power, the Shakti in you. For you to rise with whatever thoughts, Rajasic thoughts you may have within you. She said that. So Shiva still didn't believe her, but when she took out the Shakti from him, although he was clamoring to be somebody, he didn't have the strength or energy to hold on to that thought and bring an action to that thought, explaining that Shakti is an inherent strength which is given to one, and it appears from what we understand that that is from the left side of your body. So Shakti, Shiva Shakti is necessary for a person to function, You can't live alone with Rajasic thoughts or high thoughts. You need to have the Shakti in order to manipulate or manifest those thoughts. And both this Shakti and Shivan is within the person. And it is for him or her to use this power in order to reach whatever goal or whatever the intent could be it dharmic or adharmic, in whatever state of mind they are. Of course, you would come to the next stage on what ought to be the right action. That's a different story. That is a different story totally, because that falls under Sanatana Dharma. Here we are talking about the force, the energy which is available, potential in every person, every being, every human being. Sairam, brother.
Sairam, Brother Rama. Well, very elaborative and also very informational as well. Thank you, Brother Rama, for shedding light onto this matter. Anyone else would like to?
Sairam.
Sairam.
Without energy and intelligence, there is no action.
Your sister, can you say
You
again?
need intelligence and energy for action.
Oh, you need intelligence and energy for
Yes.
action. So that's how both of them are.
Need both.
Fantastic. Thank
Right. Sairam.
you. Anyone else?
Sairam. My opinion, I always say that Shiva Sakti is yin and yang. Every one of us got yin and yang in us. Normally, the men are more of the yang, the master type, the stronger type, the forceful type. So the yin is normally the lady type, which is soft, but very powerful. I think we can say it's even more powerful than the masculine side. For example, I mean, we read also like, is it the rock more powerful or is it the water more powerful? In life, you also know that you use harsh way, strong way, is less persuasive. But if you are soft and sweet, it's normally more persuasive. So it's all of us is this yin yang in us, Shiva Shakti in us, depend on situation and circumstances and see which is more applicable, right? Which more applicable. But I think for me, I realize that the yin is very powerful, very, very powerful. Okay, Swami always say, speak softly and sweetly, and that is actually the yin side of it.
So we have heard multiple ways of deciphering this, right? And from a physical level, we know that the chromosomes that we have, right? Chromosomes are actually, from biological perspective, but Brother Rama said just now, it's a bit difficult to distinguish anatomically when you look at someone. However, when we go even deeper than that, genetically, when physically, you also notice that we are all chromosomes inherently have two parts, the X and the Y. So that's the perhaps the origin of this theory of Shiva Shakti, or from a physical level, that could be why this idea has actually expanded over generations and generations to, sometimes stories and images easily brought from one century to another, rather than scientific journals or papers or microscopic images of genetic material. So perhaps in terms of physical manifestation wise, of course, we can say that our genetic makeup is of X and Y chromosomes. So that could be the Shiva and Shakti aspect. When you look at a male body and a female body, there's nothing much of a difference. It's just that our minds have been trained to perceive difference more than similarity. Just like how our minds have been trained to perceive or to exemplify or exaggerate negativity more than positivity. And that is why the 10-finger gratitude and the meditation and positive cultivation and Nama Japa and all these things. Because most of the time our mind has been trained to focus on the negative things. And similarly, the difference, like when you go for wedding, they will use a very nice sari, someone will use a very nice sari. But suddenly the earring may not match with the whole sari. And then everybody will start talking about the earring. Hey, how come you use this kind of earring? The sari is so beautiful and the earring doesn't. But nobody will talk about the beautiful sari. So similarly, it's not because they are wrong or something like that. It's just that you never train your mind to prioritize the positive. So this is actually a cognitive error. Cognitive error are the 10 cognitive errors where human beings, the minds of human beings, because we don't train our mind to actually see things positively and all that. So we have these cognitive errors which subconsciously, if you're not conscious about it, it will actually bring and drag you down to depression, drag you down to anxiety, drag you down to unnecessary problem. So similarly, when you look at the physical body of humans, you will notice that there are a lot of similarities as like our shoulders. I mean, there will be some differences, of course, the breadth of the shoulder and the sturdiness of the shoulder, those kind of things, the bone density and whatnot. But when you look at a male and a female, majority of it is the same. It's only the secondary sexual characteristics are the one which, if you're primary and secondary sexual characteristics are the one which are different inherently. Okay, so physically also there are many similarities. Now let's move to mentally. Mentally also our mind, male and female, though we carry baggages from our past lives, right? But the moment you take birth in this life, immediately your mind starts to attach to your body, and then it creates a personality. And then, even though externally you may feel that you are a female or a male, but as you disidentify neti, and break all the barriers of gender, break all the barriers of sexuality, break all the barriers of whatever is keeping you identified in this mortal realm as something or someone or some human, you break free from all of that and you realize that you are not that. So when you look at the mind which is identified, even the mind which is identified mind, you will notice that there are more similarities than differences. But of course, there are differences as well. Okay, a female mind will of course be more emotional because the mind is more connected to the emotional body. So it experiences pain, experiences guilt, experiences all this exemplified version of emotion. But the male is more thinking, theoretical, in terms of judgment, able to make better, clear decisions. So that's why in religions, they have always placed male as a leader and female as somebody, a supporting figure. However, we notice that this is also starting to change. This is also starting to change in our current times. Then in terms of energy level, right, we also notice that there is this Kundalini Shakti which is in us. So you go to all these gurus and all these people, they will tell you, actually it's not nothing wrong about it, but overnight they will do the Shakti path for you. You pay money and then you sit down in front of them, they'll take their finger and they will transfer energy to your third eye, and they will raise your energy from the back of your spine, and they will induce that the Kundalini which is dormant in your sacral chakra to move upwards. So they say that Kundalini is actually also the form of Shakti, and the awareness which observes the Kundalini rising in the body is the Shiva principle. So moving one step ahead from that, right, this physical, mental, all still a manifestation, right? So moving one step above that is the Purusha and Prakriti understanding. Purusha is, Swami says that I divided myself from myself to experience myself. Right? So when you look at it from that perspective, it means to say that the entire creation was one, and from that creation came this Shiva and Shakti principle, the Purusha and Prakriti, Purusha being the witness, Prakriti being everything which is moving. So the stillness is Shiva, the dynamic part of it is Shakti, which procreates, which produces, which keeps on moving. And so this question can be understood in various levels of understanding, not necessarily just from the body level or energy level, but it can also be understood or deciphered from a more creation level, right? From the origin of the universe, the origin of creation itself. So, and the most important is the second part here is, what does this mean in practical terms of your life, right? So I think many of our brothers and sisters have correctly answered that they feel that some is more emotional, and then some is more, the Rajasic tendencies are more associated to Shiva. So similarly, this can differ from one man to another. Also,
The other thing that I just wanted to say was, you see, the whole idea is that when we are knowing, that's why we need to get married, or that's why the need for marriage, or that's why the need for working in a team, because each of us is not complete, and there's a part of us that needs to be complete in the whole uh, idea of life. So sometimes when you're working in a team, some aspects of us which is not strong is present in somebody else, because all of us cannot be good in everything that we do. So it is when someone else is good, then it becomes powerful, very strong synergy takes place. So some people might be extremely creative, and there are some people who are extremely analytical, and there are different dimensions of people, a variation of people's qualities and competencies. So first quality that we need to accept is, firstly, we must understand what is our strength and what is our weakness. And then we try and mingle and mix with others. This is the reason why Swami said, never leave my organization, never, always be within the group, simply because each one complements and completes the cycle. It's a very interesting, that's why when we study human behavior, when everybody comes together, why is it that, how is it that someone can think like that when I couldn't think like that? That is the most fascinating aspect of human life, when someone can do this and others cannot do. This is why even when we look at Sai centers, for example, we have one center which is good, but why is it that another center cannot be like that? So the whole idea of this, the practical, this is because I'm answering the question, does this mean in practical terms? The practicality of this is that every individual has got a certain quality, a certain component. Our job is to understand how to complete ourselves by synergistically mingling, synergistically understanding, and integrating with different people, so that we can move towards. And this really is the dimension and experience of unity in diversity. So husband and wife, husband may be like that, but wife may be like that. So, but it takes both to understand and live harmoniously. This is the thing, because it's very fascinating to see qualities of individual, and when something, hey, why didn't I think like this? Huh? How come he thought like this? Very amazing. It's fascinating how some people have that attitude and others do not have. I think that is the one. So some people are very Shiva centric, some people are very Shakti centric. So this is how it is. However, as we keep on evolving and coming to the Atmic level, when we come to that, the non-dual no more refers, you see. Always dual, but when we come and transcend a certain point, non-dualism is no more. The whole duality is no more. So this integration of human personality is about merging left and right. Now the current concept in science, last time they said right brain is creative, left brain is analytical. That's what everyone thinks like that for a long time. But the human behaviorist people are now saying that even that is not truthful, because we have arbitrarily divided like that, but sometimes it is not in that manner also. So there is a huge potential of us, the awareness. The key thing to understand the difference is awareness. We need to become aware of what is our strength and what is where we are and what we are. And then look at the other side, look at left, look at right, who is now the other, and then complement. Once we know how to complement each other, is a powerful team, then we can always accept and right. So then when you know you're complementing, envy, jealousy, all these qualities will disappear, because we need each other to live in this world. We need, like this satsang group, we need every one of us to identify, to work together, to understand, to input, because then we become complete. And this is the real spiritual growth, collective community growth that we can grow up to. So this is the practical interpretation of this, both this yin and the yang.
Yeah,
This
thank you. Yeah, thank you, Keith, for sharing that. Yeah, so that also means that, you know, the play of Shiva and Shakti is always going to keep on moving from one side to another, the other side here. So sometimes when our minds are too rigid, then it becomes a problem for us. And that's where I think some spirituality, the olden days spirituality, is losing its relevance in the current population. And the olden days ideologies on, okay, Shiva means half the body, Shakti means the other half of the body. Nowadays, you see, if it's half means he can be 50% over the face here, 50% here, 50%. It can be anything, one. So the most important thing is have to be flexible. This is something I learned personally. As I feel at one point of time I was very rigid in my spiritual practice, and because of course there were good things which took place from the rigidity, but of course there are better things which happen when you start to let go of the rigidity. So letting go and even letting go of the identification of that you are inherently male and also as female tendencies, all these things are some things. If it is of your use, of course, go ahead. But if that identification is holding you back from realizing something deeper within yourself, then let go of even that identity, I would say. But Swami, of course, like Professor Suresh said, Swami will say that when I'm with males, I'm like a male. When I'm with female, I'm like a female. That's a wonderful thing as well. Yeah, so I think we know that also Swami has given the vision of Ardhanishwara to many people in the Kulwant Hall. And so this story of visions also is relevant here. There's one story of how one Swami student, let's see, Swami student who actually received the vision of Ganesha, because he was very upset, and then there was a long story about it. But he apparently didn't get what he wanted, or he lost something, and then he was very upset. And then because of that, he was so upset that he went outside one of the institution, and he hit the Ganesha's photo, and then he hit his head or something like that because of that upsetness. And then suddenly he felt that there was a out-of-body experience for him, and he was transported to a different place, and he experienced Ganesha, Lord Ganesha. And after that, when after a while, he came back into the body, and then he shared this experience with many people. He didn't know how to decipher, understand what was going on. So they asked Swami about it. The wardens asked Swami. When Swami returned, Swami was away. Swami came back. And they asked Swami, and Swami said that I gave him that experience. I gave him the experience. So Swami gave the boy the experience of that vision. So when we reflect on this statement that Swami gave that experience to the boy, so it means to say that he induced that experience in that boy's mind. And that induction is done through there is one part of energy in our body. I can't remember the name. It's called a Maruti Deva or something. It's a god. It's a type of energy which is there whenever Parabrahman or the creator himself induces, then you get this kind of visions. So then you will start to question, right? So are my visions true if it can be induced by God? And how valid are those visions in terms of reality, right? How valid are those visions if those visions are actually induced by someone? So the reliability of the vision. So are you really looking at Ganesha dancing, or are you looking at a memory or at an experience which your mind has created because it has been induced or hypnotized or by another reality, which is also God? So similarly, in our experience right now, this experience right now, as you're looking at your phone or watching the TV while you are listening to the satsang or speaking to your family members while you're listening to the satsang, having your dinner, is this reality real? Or is this reality also induced by God? So that is something you want to ponder upon. So let's move on to the second question, or else we won't have time. I have to finish today. Okay. So second question is, how has Baba's teaching that you are divine transformed your life? So let's move into our group's discussion. We'll go through the discussion first, then if you have time, we'll go through the video, yeah. Okay. So let's go through our discussion from group 2. So we have the first column here is question number 1, and the second column here is question number 2. So Sister Sharmini, would you like to share your insights into question number 1 and 2?
Yeah, so for question number 1, what I feel is because I'm composed of the body, mind, and intellect, so the Shiva is the unmanifest part. I think you did mention that earlier, brother. So for me, Shiva is the unmanifest part, and that is the Brahman. And that is the one that's powering all the koshas. So there's the unmanifest part and the manifest part, right? So everything, Purusha and Prakriti you were talking about just now, right? So the dynamic part of it is the Shakti part, and the unmanifest part is the witness, that is the Brahman. That's the first question. And then the second question, how do when I feel that I'm divine, when I know that I'm divine, how do I behave, right? That's the second part of the question. So at the body level, I have better self-control upon my sensory pursuits. From the mind level, I'm more emotionally stable. And from the intellect level, I have more clarity and I see things as they are. So I don't have too much of expectations or anything. I just take things as they come. So that's my part, brother. Thank you.
Thank you, Sister Sharmini. Sister Shanta, are you here, sister? Sayaram, Sister Shanta, are you here? She's not here. Oh, okay. How about Sister Shanti? Shanti Naga, are you here?
Yes, I'm here.
Sayaram, sister.
The question is, how do we react to it, brother?
The first question is, the first question is regarding the Shiva and Shakti principle in terms of your practical life. So this was your answer. Maybe you can elaborate further, sister, why you gave these answers.
Oh, quite some time already. Yeah. The Shiva aspect, when we get in the situation when we really have to make a difficult decision, So that point I will say is the Shiva aspect. We have to make do something to solve a certain problem, be big. Mostly if it is a big problem, how do we settle it? So that'll be the Shiva side. When it's Shakti, we have to show compassionate and
Correct. So your perspective in the practicality would be Shiva being more of a masculine energy and Shakti being a more compassionate, loving energy, feminine energy. Correct?
yes, forgiving and going forward. Whereas the Shiva will not be so easily, he will stick to one point, and then where we'll say, no, we try this method. So that'll be the Shakti part.
Okay. Then your second question, sister, regarding the Swami's teaching on divine. So how has this transformed your life?
For me, because I've been in the side for quite some time, so it is a very slow process, because it's not easy to change from the conditioning received and the environment we are. So for me, it's the ongoing process, brother. It's still going. Of course, a lot of changes. I feel so I can look at it in a different angle from previously, because we know Swami is not, Swami is told, he's like is guiding, he guides our mental aspect. So, okay, we can follow this method, or we can remember some of his quotations. And daily we also receive the thoughts and little things they send in the groups. So as we read, we also can follow it and follow the path much more easier nowadays. Much better now.
Okay, sister. So in terms of if there's one thing that when you reflect back, you say you were many years in the center and you have participated in many things and being involved in Sai activities. So if there's one thing in yourself, right? So this question is not just for Sister Shanti, but is for everyone else who's listening. If there's one thing that you notice after being in the organization, participating in the satsangs, what is that one thing which you felt you have transformed towards being divine? If there's one thing you can choose.
For me, I think now it is the meditation, because before we used to do just the simple type, but now when we do Swami's light meditation, and then we look at everything let our eyes. Okay, first we say the hardest one is the mouth. Okay, speak softly. So when we really get angry, then we just remember. Okay, Swami says speak softly and don't say harsh words. So it automatically the thing comes in. Lately, of late I noticed that has happened. So I'm happy about that. And then other things, and then when we hear, we don't want to hear just a pop song or anything. We enjoy hearing bhajans and getting into the mood. Even in the car, driving, also prefer to put bhajans on than to hear the radio. Then as we see also TV, you cannot see violence already. The minute I see, there's any movie, there's a lot of violence, just change the channel. So these are the little things and then also walking, our legs, we say, go, take me to places of worship. So it has really, it's like that now, we don't feel like going to the mall and walking about. We prefer to go for bhajan or go to temple like that. So these are the one thing that has, a few things, not one that has changed for me.
Yeah. Thank you so much. So for all of you who don't know, Sister Shanti is our trained Jyoti meditation trainer. So she actually goes around to center and trains others and share knowledge on Jyoti meditation. I can still remember the time when we first started the training, Sister Shanti, she called me and she said that, Sister, I share a bit.
Okay.
Don't take it personally. She called me so many times. She said, "Brother, I want to quit. I want to quit. I don't want to. I don't know whether I can do this. I don't think I can do this, brother. I don't think this meditation will work for me and all that. I cannot." She so much of worries and so many times, until I can still remember I was driving out of the hospital, and I think it's the third time she's telling me she wants to quit from the program. And I even, for me, I feel like my role as a teacher is not necessarily to, of course, to motivate everyone to take in the practice and motivate them to try it themselves. But at the same time, when the same person like they feel like it's not ready for them, you also have the tendency to like, okay lah, maybe it's not ready for them and just let go, But somewhere within me, I felt like Sister Shanti is different in the sense that I could pick up on her energies, and I could pick up on subtle things she says and how it would benefit her. And once she completed the training to be a teacher, a certified teacher, and she was actually certified and recognized in our Sai Academy. She was given a scroll and a recognition by our Malaysian Sai Academy as a Jyoti meditation trainer. And ever since, her life has changed. Like what she's saying right now, she noticed that if there's one thing that so this is not scripted, it's very important. I'm actually quite happy that if there's one thing that she notices that has changed in her life is towards divinity, is this, that she moves from the qualities of the mouth, the qualities of her senses, hearing and looking at things in oneness. So eventually she's training her mind to reach a state of equanimity. And Swami says, they always, the students always ask Swami, Bhagavan, what is it that I can do for you? What is it I can do for you? All the while you give us everything we want. What can we do for you? What do you want from us? Swami says, I only want one thing from you. I want to see you desireless. I want to see you without any desire. That is my desire. I don't want anything else. I want you to have no desire. And for you to have no desire, your mind has to be in an equanimous state. Swami also emphasizes, today morning when I read his message, he says that he also emphasizes that he wants our minds to be equanimous. Equanimous meaning to say that even if good things happen, in bad things happen, you can view it from the same light. You can view a bad person and a good person from the same light. And how do you do that? You have to train your mind every day. Every day when you do Jyoti meditation, you actually train your mind subconsciously to view everything in one light, in the light of love, in the light of kindness, light of compassion. So thank you, Sister Shanti, for sharing this. So Sister Shanta is not here. Let me just share what she has shared with us. Sister Shanta said, Shiva aspect is in me, is behind my thought, word, and deed. All I think and do, the energy part of it is Shakti, similar to what Swami has said. And for the second question, she answered, I've transformed in some extent. In my conscience is in line with his teaching. So she notices that the part of her which is moving towards divinity is her heightened level of conscience. The other day when Professor Suresh came to Terminal Science Center over the weekend, we had our East Coast sadhana, young adult sadhana camp. And it was a day camp, and Professor Suresh, Brother Kani, and a few of them came all the way from KL. And Professor Suresh gave 2 talks, and in one of the talk he mentioned that the final guide will come from your conscience. Your conscience is the one which will eventually guide you to self-realization and to a higher understanding of our reality. So Sister Shanta experienced that transformation. She experienced that after participating in satsang and being in the organization and participating, she noticed that her conscience is currently in line with Swami's teachings. So with that, I would like to show this video of the four sins. So sometimes it's very difficult, for us to realize the divinity, and some people may not even understand it, like what is it, divinity and all these things. It's like a far-fetched idea which may or may not even appeal to the rational mind. It's more of the irrational mind, which actually illogical or irrational mind, which actually identifies or can relate to things like divinity and transformation, those kind of things. So what are some simple things you can do? Simple things that you can do to move towards divinity. And one of it is the message of the four sins of the tongue that Swami warns us against. Swami says that the tongue is a very important organ for us to reach self-realization. And if you can prevent your tongue from committing these four sins, then you are surely towards that path. So let's watch this drama and we will end after the drama. Sarah.
Words may appear simple, yet they hold the power to shape relationships, moments, and even destinies. In our busy lives, we often forget the profound impact of the words we speak. Today, we will remind ourselves the four timeless lessons: to always speak the truth, to never speak ill of others, to never speak harshly, and avoid speaking unnecessarily. Serve as a reminder that our words can either heal or harm. As these stories unfold, may they awaken within us the wisdom to choose our words with care and to speak with kindness and intention.
Life often places us at crossroads. One path is paved with truth, the other with deceit. The world may not always see the choices we make, but our hearts and conscience always do. This is a story, not of knowledge, but of values, not about victory, but about integrity.
Hey, why is everyone studying so hard?
You forgot? We have got the big general knowledge competition today. Miss said to go through the entire syllabus.
What? I didn't study a single thing. Oh man, what am I going to do?
Hey guys, come join us. We are going over last minute questions.
Maybe in a bit. I'll just catch up on my own first. I don't know anything. I'm going to embarrass myself. Unless, what if I just cheat a little? No big deal, right? It's just a competition. Children, here are your papers. You have 1 hour. Remember, do your best, but do it honestly. When you cheat, the only person you truly deceive is yourself. Good luck, everyone. Good morning, children. I have the results from yesterday's competition. One student got all the answers right. Let's give a big round of applause to Akash.
What? Me? I won?
Yes, Akash, you did exceptionally well. Please come receive your trophy.
Is it truly yours, this trophy? Or just an illusion dressed in gold? Do the cheers touch your soul? Or vanish before reaching it? When silence comes, does it sit beside pride or beside guilt? Tell me, who really won? You or the lie? No, I made a mistake. This isn't right. I don't deserve it.
Our champion. What brings you here, Akash?
Miss, I need to return this trophy. I cheated on the exam. I didn't think it was a big deal at that time. And I never thought I'd win. But now I know I was wrong.
Akash, cheating is wrong, but admitting it takes real courage. A lie may bring quick success, but truth brings peace. You could have stayed silent, but you chose to be honest. You have earned something far more important: integrity.
Akash, that was brave. You made a mistake, but you made it right.
Now that's something to be proud of. In a world where words move faster than we think, how often do we stop to weigh what we say? A single comment, a piece of gossip can hurt more than we realize. This is the story of a footballer who learned that strength isn't just about how you play, but how you speak.
My ankle. I think I twisted it. Sarah, are you alright? Sit down, take a break. We'll get you the first aid kit.
Coach, should we continue the drills?
Yes, go on. Sarah needs rest. You all continue.
Hey, did you see what Sarah did during practice? She pretended to be hurt to get out of running laps.
But she usually seems sincere on the field.
Don't be fooled. I bet she's just faking it. People are saying she's pretending to be injured to get sympathy.
Seems like a hot topic. What you all just said, how sure are you that she was pretending? Not really. It just looked like it. Then you're not passing the ball. You're passing gossip. And that's dangerous. On the field, would you shoot without seeing the goal?
No, coach.
Exactly. Don't assume things when you don't know the full story. Gossip is like a bad pass. It doesn't help the team, and it often ends in a foul.
Sorry, coach.
I'm not the one who needs your apology. Backbiting is one of the worst penalties you can commit. Not just on the field, but off it too. There are red cards for your character. Before you speak, ask yourself, is it true? Is it kind? Is it necessary?
Sarah, I'm sorry.
Why are you apologizing to me?
I said something about it that wasn't true. I assumed you were pretending to be hurt to skip the laps. That was wrong of me. I shouldn't have spoken without knowing the truth.
We are sorry too for joining in. Oh, I didn't know. But thanks, guys. I appreciate your apology.
I promise I won't speak behind anyone's back again.
Well done, Arnav. That took courage. Life is a game, and we players must learn to speak only when our words are more helpful than silence.
In the hustle of everyday life, we often forget that words hold power far greater than we imagine. A kind word can lift a weary heart, and a harsh one can wound deeper than a sword. In a world rushing for perfection, it's easy to lose sight of the gentle art of kindness. But sometimes, life has its own way of reminding us.
Did you come to the party yesterday? It was amazing.
No, I missed it.
But I heard they had a band.
Girls, this is an office, not a gossip corner. Get back to work. Where have you been? Taking a stroll? Why deadlines pile up?
Just a short break, sir. We are staying late to finalize the report.
Machan, watched IPL last night.
Tony was on fire.
No way. Kohli was unbeatable.
Well, look at that. Cricket stars in office. What's next? Cheer squads by the water cooler. Is this what the employment agreement states? Back to your desk. No, I am free now. Tell me, what's up? Good evening, sir. How may I help you?
I saw how you spoke to them. They were taking short breaks, just like you are now. There was no reason to speak so harshly. Even when you speak the truth, do it kindly. Words can build or break. Choose them with care.
I understand, sir. You are right. I will make sure to speak kindly from now on.
In the dance between words and silence, we forget the quiet strength of stillness. We speak to fill space, but wisdom lives in the pauses, in listening, in knowing when not to speak. This isn't just a story about a man or a market. It's a reminder. Careless words drain us, silence restores.
Phew, hot day, isn't it?
Yes, sir. Burning hot. Even the tomatoes are sweating today.
These carrots are from Damula, right? And these drumsticks? From Vavonia?
Yes, sir. Carrots from Dambulla. But drumsticks came in from Jaffna this morning.
Ah, Jaffna. Good soil there. These brinjals look too perfect. You're sure they're not chemically treated?
No, sir. No chemicals. Just sun, clean water, and patient hands.
What is the price of these tomatoes?
A kilo is 800 rupees, sir.
Oh my, that's very pricey. Hope they're not golden. Are they?
Feels like gold, sir. Prices rise every week. We just try to survive.
Did you see how little that lady bought? Does she think this is enough for a meal? No one cares about nutrition these days. Everyone just eats instant food or junk food. That's the new dinner nowadays.
That is very true, sir. Even my children refuse to eat veggies now. They want burgers every day.
Spraying to make your old vegetables look fresh?
No, sir. Just trying to keep them from drying in this heat. They are fresh.
What is the price of these onions?
A kilo is 200 rupees, sir. Shall I bag some for you?
Oh, no. I'm simply waiting for the bus. Ah, there it is. Farewell, good chat.
Why do people always talk so much but say so little? We fill space with talk, but it is silence that heals. Idle words scatter the mind and drain the spirit. When the tongue rests, the soul begins to speak.
Every word we speak leaves a mark on others and on ourselves. These stories have shown that a gentle tongue, an honest heart, and mindful silence hold more strength than anger or judgment ever could. Let us choose our words with care, not just today, but every day, and build a world where understanding speaks louder than voices.
Salam everyone. We have come to the end of our presentation. Just to sum up, if you don't know what to do to reach divinity, I think this Clay has actually summed it up quite well. Always, you just, control your tongue, speak less, speak kind, don't speak ill of others. And when there's an opportunity to cultivate silence, and of course, please cultivate silence, don't speak unnecessarily, which was what Brother James started off with the satsang today. With that, thank you so much. Hand it over to Brother Suresh.
Sai Ram, Sabitan, very, very nice. I'd like the play also was very cute. Like a lot of reminders, although simple, but very poignant and very strong. Today's session was also very inspiring for us to look back at many of these things that we are doing. Just on a closing note, the practical implication of, let's say, Shiva, if we can just take the word Shiva itself, it means auspiciousness. So tomorrow morning when I get up, if I can feel auspicious, what is there to feel auspicious about? The fact that I have human being, I'm a human birth. Out of the 8.4 million species in this world, Papa said you are a human being. So we have to feel auspicious that we are born as a human being. Having born as a human being, we should feel auspicious that the Atma in us is the Atma in everyone. And therefore, the connectivity must be very strong. Whatever that we do, we inject auspiciousness into it. Wherever we go, we inject auspiciousness. We are spreaders of auspiciousness. That consciousness itself is living Shiva in the world, living the Shiva element in us. So like that, each item we can actually internalize in this manner. Tomorrow morning we can wake up with such inspiration to live with great jest. So with these few words, thank you so much. We had a nice time. Let's wait for next week's satsang. Sai Ram.